DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another great episode of this show called DYOR Live. It is, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, got to say the word rabbits. First day of the month, October 1st, 2025. It's a new month. It's a new quarter. September is over. We were wrong. It was not red September. It was green September. And October is starting out just like its name says, Pumptober. Bitcoin pumping up into the 117s instead of going down. However, Pedro yesterday did say, yeah, we're likely to go up in the first week of October before we do some shenanigans in the middle of the month and then head down for a red October. We shall see. And this is normally where I say good morning to my friend and co-host Pedro Garcia. He's running late this morning, so he'll be with us in a little bit. Anyway, a shout out to everyone watching us out there. Really appreciate the early attendance here. Shout out to Chuck Jansen for being the first poster. First poster. There's always super street cred going on with whoever the first poster is. So Chuck says, let's go. And you know who the second poster was? That's right, it was me. Herlihy, let's go. Let's go. Anyway, Bitcoin's still pumping here. Let's go right into a Bitcoin review, ladies and gentlemen. As always, this is where Pedro usually shines and does his thing, but I'm going to take over for him this morning. He's coming on right now. I can see him coming on in the background.
Can you hear me?
I can, Pedro. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll punt on the BTC review until Pedro comes on here and welcome him to the show. But like I was saying, Pedro, before you came on here, Bitcoin decided to start out the week just as planned, as going up right off the bat here. And we'll get to that, ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes once Pedro comes on here. Hey, that's a really nice background there, or a screenshot. Looks like a AI version of either Aruba or Copenhagen or somewhere in the Netherlands or something like that. Anyway, I really like it. So we'll give a quick shout out to everyone watching on X today. You know what? That's a good point. I need to go grab the X feed for the comment section here. So let's do that while Pedro's getting up to speed here.
Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up right now.
That's all right. There we are on X, ladies and gentlemen. Already have 2 people watching us over there. Thanks for watching, everybody, on X. I'm just going to send out the usual stuff right now, which means everyone like, share, and follow. Welcome, everyone. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, comment, chat. Just do it. Especially if you're watching on Rumble, ladies and gentlemen, really helps us out. If we get the Rumble, we didn't get the Rumble posting here. It really helps us if you hit that repost button on Rumble. It makes a big difference over there. Dr. Fire Chicken in the house says, I'm back. He's been off all week, either mining fiat or mining beach, the sands of a beach. Don't know which it was, work or vacation. Anyway, Chuck, thanks for joining us. Is today the day? Is today the day? Could be the day for a whole bunch of things, but I don't know which. Let's go. Today is the day. I see. Fire Chicken was saying today is the day, and then Dr. Fire Chicken says, is today the day? Anyway, as always, everyone, please like, comment, share, do all those types of things. Where did my the X window go? X window has disappeared. Must have closed that accidentally. Grab that here real quick. Let's see. Profile, streaming. Oh, I didn't pop that out. Didn't pop it out. Anyway, thanks to the 3 people watching us over there. Really appreciate it. I'll do this once again for you people on X. Pedro Garcia, what's happening today, my friend?
Not much. It is a beautiful day. I can't complain. I don't know why I keep saying not much, because you've literally It's like I've like started to train myself, and now I'm just I actually had a really cool experience with my trading coach. We had a little session today, and we were going over some of the stuff.
Excellent.
And watching, and so that's why I'm late, because we were just talking about old stuff.
That's all right. Trading knowledge trading time for knowledge is always a good thing.
So it was just one of those moments where we were just kind of reminiscing, and there was a guy who sent me a document that I was looking at that was from my coach, and I said, this is good, but it just doesn't seem like it's all.
Ooh. Pedro, you there? Pedro, your screen dropped again. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Pedro's screen dropped. We can't hear him. There we go. Now it should be back. There you go.
You know the little timer thing you got me?
Yeah.
Every time I've had that up and running, I have issues. For whatever reason, it takes a ton of my resources. I just closed it, and
that's really strange.
Yeah, like it was literally, I literally canceled it, and my thing just went up, and oh my goodness, dude, it's like I'm not even having a lag again. That is
all right. I'll just remove it from the.
I figured it out, dude. I'm so stoked. Sorry.
That's weird. I run it on 3 different windows. It's no problem. It's not the separate window like having it in a website. It's in the broadcast studio thing on your phone, or is it on your computer?
It's on my computer.
And that uses no resources on my computer.
It was literally like, literally, that picture you saw on my screen was literally like 2 days ago, and it just wouldn't update because of the resource. I was like, what is pulling these resources? What is? And I'll
file a technical support thing there with it. With the URL, did it end in Q list or backstage, or
I don't know.
How did it end?
I don't even know. So whatever one you sent me.
We'll worry about that later. Just look at the one on your phone. I'll leave it big like that so you can see it.
Dude, I'm so stoked, dude. Now let's see how quickly this pulls up. This is going to be the test when I pulled this up. Oh my goodness, bro. Everything just pulled right up. Look at that. Ooh, dude, I'm so stoked. Sorry. I'm so happy. It's so happy.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, this is your entertainment of the day. That's why we're out there looking at you, CDW, or a company just like that wants to sponsor a growing crypto show. Let us know. Then we can get better computers. We won't have these technical issues. Anyway, everyone out there watching, really appreciate your time. Drop a comment here. We'd really appreciate it. There's only a couple of you watching. Share this in your trading room. Oh, lawnmower guys are here. All right, Pedro, while you are starting the Bitcoin review, I'll be listening. I have to go open a jar that nobody can open upstairs. So I'll be right back.
Alrighty then. So let's check out.
Apparently they can't bring it to me because it'd be too messy if I spilled.
It's funny. The jobs of a dad are real. So we've actually been seeing a huge pump. Like this thing is. It's a pump. Like it went from literally 14 all the way up to that almost 18 area. It's 4,000 points. That's 4% move. And what was it based off of? That's where my question is. I'm like wondering what was the news that set that off. This all morning I really wasn't paying attention to all the news. So I got to figure out what's going on. Let's read this. I'll go over this real quick. So basically, long story short, we have liquidity sitting at that 1800 right here. Then in additionally to that, we also have the supply sitting at that 1936, 1830 or 118, 2049. So this area right here, what you're seeing, I'm gonna do that so you can fully see that. It's an important area just simply because we know that's where it's going to come down to. That's when I'm expecting us to see the market go up, hit it, put a pretty big wick in and come down. Now let's go down into the smaller time frame so we can see what's going on. You can see here as we're pushing up, we're not necessarily seeing a ton of volume coming in as we're actually pumping. So, and remember, it's just very important to understand what is today. Today is the first day of the month, okay? And so they are pushing it up quickly, first thing the first day of the month. So if you look at this monthly chart right here, right? This is a monthly chart. It took maybe was it 5 days to put that that demand wick. See this supply wick here, right? Look at that. That took another 2 weeks. It's already done half of that in a day. So if it's shooting up hard like that, right? I don't trust it because it's first thing up in the month. So that's why I'm like,
they're just setting you up.
It's a setup. It's a setup to rep, to rep you up. You know what I'm saying? I'll leave that one.
Rep it up, baby. This shirt's too big.
So, dude, when you said that, my brain just went, that's what she said.
The shirt is too big.
Quick. I don't even know
But it does seem that we're getting pretty far away from the 21 period moving average on that chart.
Yeah.
What is that, the 2-hour chart?
Yeah. So that 20 period moving average sitting right here. This is the 8 period moving average sitting right here. So I'm expected to see this thing sell off. There's no way. I just don't see it. Like, what was the news that popped this?
Well, I'm sorry, I've got the lawnmower crew out here. One thing for sure that is going on, and this happened last year at this event. Token 2049 is going on in Singapore right now. One of the major Bitcoin trade shows that pretty much everyone in the industry, the big players go to. And usually in these big trade shows, we see volume decrease because a lot of the important decision makers, market maker guys who've been working hard all week or all month or all whatever, go to these trade shows and go into networking mode, and they're not necessarily doing as much trading. I haven't scientifically back tested this, but just from watching the major trade shows over the past 2 or 3 years of doing this with Pedro, there's usually lighter volume in it. Usually we see some consolidation during those weeks. For me, Pedro, this is the first time that I've seen, today was the first day of the show, is the first time we saw a really good move while the show was on. But you did point out that volume was down. So maybe just some smaller groups had outsized influence on the market. The various financial channels, Bloomberg and CNBC, are both parroting the same thing, saying that the government shutdown in the U.S. is likely to be short, so the market's going green on that. I think that's just some junior analyst or commentator just making up shit right now because
they're not going to close the. They never do.
Well, I mean, trying to predict what the U.S. government's going to do, it's easier to predict, blackjack winning than that. And so I think the various financial websites were just screaming for attention, trying to come up. We don't know why the market's pumping. Let's just say traders are happy. Okay. And personally, I think everyone's at the trade show. Liquidity is down, so smaller groups that want to move the market are able to do so with less pushback.
I mean, the fact that Trump really came out and said, U.S. will probably have a government shutdown wasn't the best move on. I mean, listen, the man is a tactician when it comes to just playing, politics and the art of the negotiation. But it's one of those things I'm just like, really, did you have to say we'll probably have a government shutdown? That's just not, I don't know. I just felt like that was all right, cool, fair.
Although I enjoy the back and forth from Congress during this period in which it's just a he said, she said thing. and then they all have their arguments one side to the other side, and they're at each other's throats for it. And then they show the videos from like 10 years ago where both groups are saying the same thing but reversed. You know?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Oh yeah, well it's bad. And then 10 years later, oh yeah, it's good. And you're like, wait a minute. Hold on. And then they're like, it's 10 years ago, don't worry about it. But I do like them pulling up the older pictures and videos of politicians before they had the Botox, before they had their hairline restored, when they were gray. And now a lot of these old guys have the dark orange hair and stuff like that. You're like, wait a minute, that guy was older 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
One of the commentators on one of the websites I was watching that on, or not websites, podcast I was watching, was having fun with that. And so I was like, note to self, when I get older, don't dye my hair orange. Man orange.
I kind of like it, man. I gotta admit, like the little gray with the gray that's going on. I'm like, it looks good.
Natasha loves it. She's like, oh, a little salt. I got mostly pepper here, not salt yet, but salt's coming in here and there and around and stuff like that. But it's not going to be man whore orange or politician orange. I'll never do that.
Or orange.
So, what do you do for a living, man whore?
Man whore.
What was the name of that? Deuce Bigelow?
Yes,
Is that
Deuce
the movie?
Bigelow.
Deuce Bigelow.
Dude, that man.
Bigelow, man whore.
I love Rob Schneider, man. That dude
he is epic.
like, dude, and the way he's clowning on the Democrats and Republicans, I absolutely love it.
Gotta respect him for that, yeah.
Yeah, he's just, and they basically isolate him outside of Hollywood. He's like, I don't care, I'm rich. Right? Like,
what are you gonna do? Ruin my life? Nope.
No, it's not. You gonna do anything. I mean, I might have to deal with the shooter, but I mean, hey, everybody's got problems. Sounds horrible. That sounds so horrible, bro. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, because every time somebody's preaching against both ends, the right and the left, they all collude to sit there and say, we need to take that guy out. So, shoot. What here? So that was not meant to say that about anything else. But it's just weird how
I'm shiny today. I used to see this, us famous people in TV. Gotta watch out for this. I used a different face lotion today, and it was much more creamier. You know what that means? It's much more shinier. Now I need foundation. Next thing I know, I'm gonna have to wear full blown makeup. We're gonna have to get makeup artists and stuff like that and look like this. Or I could just turn these lights down here that I'm too lazy to get up and do, and then we'll do that.
Honestly, I don't mind being bleached out. I don't mind. I make up my own.
All I care, as long as the sound is fine. That's all I care, and that's been rolling fine lately. So I'm good with it. Anyway, Pedro, back to.
So this might have happened. So Trump says, literally,
go ahead.
Donald Trump Jr. says, crypto will preserve the U.S. dollar dominance, which I do not disagree with him. Like, we are exporting our debt to the rest of the world as people want to trade crypto.
It's the biggest trick of all time.
And it's
here's this new product, isn't it great? You're all gonna get rich. Meanwhile, we're like.
Well, kinda. I mean, yeah, it's true. Because as long as the U.S. is pushing hard to, like I've said multiple times, increase that debt, there's anything that is remotely perceived as an asset will go up in value. It's inevitable. I mean, and we literally have a month and a half, and this will be at 3.8 trillion. Or
38 trillion.
Trillion dollars in a month and a half, people. In a month and a half, it will hit $38 trillion. By the end of the year, we will see this thing at potentially maybe 39 trillion.
Not good.
38.5, 39 trillion. said, roughly. By the end of the year, by the end of next year, that thing will probably be at $45 trillion.
Crazy.
Like, and here's the thing. This isn't moving. This is why gold, this is one of the things we were going to talk about yesterday. This is why gold is literally like skyrocketing. I mean, gold just hit a new all-time high and then sold off. It's
I know. Gold is moving like a meme coin now. Just,
it literally
well,
hits
the once stayed gold that doesn't really move much. It's just moving and grooving.
Dude, it literally didn't even have a flinch. Oh, actually, it had a flinch at 3,800. We saw it hit it, pull down. Okay. I expected us to go down. Bro, no. It said, get off of me. Like don't. Just like, what's his name? Denzel. No, like Denzel Washington. Get your hands off of me. Right? If anyone's ever seen that. I mean, look at it. It's literally just bloop, and then bounce right back. And it literally is, I mean, since Monday, man, look at this. It's gone from 3,700 to 3,900. It's not slowing down. Like, this thing is, I mean, literally every country, every major country is starting to buy gold again. Every single Federal Reserve is buying gold. Like they're expecting the dollar. If we do not back the dollar by gold, which there's no way we could do because there's so much debt on it, and then the derivatives that correlate with that is just astronomical. People are going. I mean, we talk about how people won't ditch the U.S. dollar as the federal or as the world's reserve, but it's quickly escalating. Like it's not.
Well, like Pedro, what I say is that this stable coin. Let's broaden it out. The stable coin revolution, pushing the U.S. dollar into more pockets every day. Like, as we talk about, many countries now are starting even to hesitate on propping up their own currency and just, adding USDT or USDC to their balance sheets. They don't even have to go out and exchange their gold for US dollars on the foreign currency exchange. They can just scramble together whatever they can, put it in a crypto account, and buy a couple of $1 million or $1 billion worth of USDT, back their currency up, or just ditch their currency and switch their budget over to USDT. And suddenly they have a stable country. And as long as they keep inflation in check, it's currently very possible for countries just to say, you know what, I'm done with defending my little Guatemalan currency or Ecuadorian currency. Let's move on and be part of the great world system. It's working well in Europe with the euro. Why not just have it, instead, in Europe, it's a mandatory thing to be part of the EU. Countries can voluntarily be part of, the US dollar system now. Speaking of US dollars, I got a quick tangent. Ladies and gentlemen, Fire Chicken, making up for lost time. Appreciate both of you more than a rant could ever convey. Thank you very much for the $20 rant, Chuck Jansen. We really appreciate it. As I always say, Pedro and I take all of the money out of your pocket and put it in our pocket so we can head to Ibiza and vacation there and do dubious things. But as you know, you've never actually seen us leave here. So what we do is we take these donations and help make our product better and get it out to the masses. The best thing about rants for all of you people that other than Chuck is that it tells the platform here that something good is going on. And that is the best thing that we can get is better algorithm love. And if we can push this show out to more people, then the better we all do. So thank you very much to Chuck. Pedro and I appreciate it. And I'd play the holler, but I'm traveling. No sound effects while I'm traveling. Haven't even been using my pricing graphics machine anymore. which I really enjoy using, but to overload the whole system.
Yeah,
Anyway, I was talking about the dollars there, and I had come to the end of what I wanted to say about countries relying on stablecoins. Pedro, I have a feeling that as a bunch of these countries, they're buying gold, the price is going up, you're going to see a point where they're going to be like, you know what? I need dollars to buy stuff, and this gold is not doing anything. We've made some money, and they're going to just trade U.S. dollars for gold, or gold for U.S. dollars, USDT. And you can do that because Tether has a gold, a gold stable coin as well. And I have to imagine that there's some company out there that will take physical possession of the gold and give you USDT. At that country level, not, at the trinket level here that we're talking about. And so, as I always say, people are not understanding the shift that's going to come in the world markets here. And the idea of having 200 sovereign currencies around the world is quickly going to fade away. If I ran my own little country, I'd be like, you know what, everybody? I realize we've had a shit currency and it's been up and down and stuff like that, but we're going to have to take the pain for the next 5 years. We're going to go to USDT, the US dollar via stablecoins, and just be done with this whole thing. And then we don't have to worry about Forex traders ruining us. If we can keep inflation in check in our own country, we'll be able to stay on this thing.
That's the problem. We can't. We can't.
No, I mean, compared to Pakistan that has 200% inflation.
I don't disagree.
They look at the U.S. at 6 and 7% inflation and go, man, that is great. That's the most stable thing on the earth. And we're like this freaking out. It's taking all our wealth.
Well, what I'm saying
they lose their wealth in 10 minutes.
So as we go up 1%, they go up 20%, 30% based off of, because the smaller a country is, the more they actually have to struggle to pay up something.
Right.
So they see higher inflation. It's not, okay, we're a separate system. No, we're the minor lever that's closest to the pivot. They're on a far end. So when we go down up, or when we go down a one, right, that lever, because we're at the closest here, when we go up, we only feel it a small amount. They feel it majorly. It's a lever that happens back and forth, and we're the center. So it takes one more time like this. It's important to understand that nuance there between inflation and how with our debt and comparative to how it affects them. Because, like you said, but here's the thing: is the world going to be willing to go ahead and hold hands with Putin, with Xi, with the UAE? I think they'd be more willing to connect with the UAE. And then you got Modi, who is, again, if anything you were going to see, you would see Modi and the UAE. I think if they came together I don't think Brazil would be able to hold enough power there, but the UAE along with India could hold that power. They very much could if the world said, you know what, and they mitigated Xi and Putin. I could see that happening, giving them second or third second or third power handles would be more of a position for them if they were going to push up the BRICS nation or the BRICS currency because of the amount of money. Dude, the amount of gold that they are pulling in is stupid per country. Like when you take it and you put everything together.
Thank you, Joe.
And so the amount of money that just this month alone, right? Because they have what's really backing is gold, and they're literally saying it's backing in gold. Just like this, or excuse me, not this month, but the previous month of September, it almost went up. I mean, we're almost at 4,000. I mean, it's crazy. It was at 3,500 and it went up 4,000, and it's all based because of what's happening here with the USD. Like, excuse me, not the USD, but the US debt. And this,
Pedro, just real quick, I'm just going to interrupt you for 1 second here. Ladies and gentlemen, trying to follow my routine here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the bottom of the hour here on DYOR Live. You're watching Tom, otherwise known as Striking here, and Pedro Garcia, crypto chart analyst, bringing you the day's highlights and midweek market update here on Wednesday. The theme of the show today is about Robinhood, which we'll talk about later. They are growing. Pedro and I like to talk about the prediction markets. Robinhood's get into that. We'll bring you that in the next half hour of the show. Also in a little bit, Pedro's actually going to review a stock or two. We're going to look at Boeing and Chevron for, as they say, striking family members to show the family what their investments may do or may not. So anyway, thanks for joining everybody. As always, we're an interactive show. If you're watching this live, make sure you sign up and chat with us. Get a Rumble account. You can use your phone, computer, whatever it is. Join, interact with us. That's what we love. Pedro, sorry for the interruption. Back to you.
no, it's just simply saying that if we keep allowing that US dollar keep just going the way it is, will the world be willing to come onto the crypto market knowing that the US debt is being exported? That's really what I'm playing. Like, are they willing, or are they going to go through and play the other end, right? Like, or are they gonna hedge? Are they gonna do both, right? They don't know who's gonna win out. Gold has always been the safety, so it's a little bit difficult to be able to understand the full nuance there of what is actually going to happen.
Sorry about that. I was just checking the feed to make sure the sound was good. But I would say, except there are very few people that understand the gold market, really. There's very little gold in the world. Like they say, there's the total mined and processed gold fits into about a typical American 4-bedroom house. All the gold that's ever existed. There's a ton more of it. There's like 1 million times more of it in the ground. The expensive part is just getting it out of the ground. There's asteroids going around the Earth and that. They're, $1 quintillion worth of gold at today's prices that I'm sure Mr. Space Company owner is plotting on how to mine that and all that. But in the meantime, none of that matters. What matters is that people and countries are buying gold as a hedge. Which means, countries don't have unlimited amounts of money, Pedro. The U.S., with its vast printing presses, people can run up debts really quickly. And the smaller while the U.S. can handle it because we have such a strong bond market, most countries, including Europe, do not have a strong bond market, and they can't just buy as much gold as they want because they're going to have to they'll run their foreign currency reserve out, or they will run large deficits and then deflate their currency. So it's not easy. I think with a little time with the FOMO ending, after we see some real results, probably after the next election in the U.S., you'll see the price of gold. People will be like, all right, we put too much money into that. We need our money out of gold. I don't mean people, I mean countries. And we'll see a good pullback from that. Let's see what's going on here. My browser. Oh yeah, one of the things I wanted to bring up is CZ was suddenly everyone was thinking that CZ was out to steal everyone's money. No, the BNB Chain's X account got hacked. I don't know how these people fall for this stuff. Unless they have, look, you guys, if you're using your telephone number, your mobile phone number, and you're a somewhat famous person here, you're going to get your X account compromised because of these people pay people on the insides of phone companies to switch your phone number to their phone number. SIM card swap. And that happened again with these guys.
CZ, he got his hack. He got his stuff that got hacked.
Is that the BNB chain account did, but previously CZ was hacked, if you recall. I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right before. And all, all the major people have, but once people started going to two-factor authentication, that does not involve your phone number and taking your phone number off your X account. A lot of those hacks were mitigated. The fact that people still fall for them. Oops. Where's that other article I wanted to mention? Here, hate it when it updates your feed. Right tab. Here's the Robinhood article. I wanted to go into that after we talked about more technical analysis and stuff. Pedro's an article here you'd be interested. AI pushes quantum Q-Day closer to reality and to breaking encryption per a new study. New tools that simplify quantum complexity are reshaping physics research, drawing fresh investment and fueling urgency in the quantum computing era. AI could speed up Q-Day when quantum computers break today's encryption, threatening crypto, cybersecurity, and global finance. Experts warn that Q-Day may hit by 2030. Also, experts also predicted that the climate would reach a point where we are doomed to burn up in the year 2000. That didn't happen either. In fact,
it was I remember
every one of their predictions. Every one of their predictions turned out false. And with AI, it's all brand new. Also, it's new stuff, so they're kind of guessing in the studies. Make a lot of assumptions and things like that. I thought you'd be interested in that article.
You know what I find more funny than I think what's sad is that they played in a way that like it's inevitable, and I sit there and I'm like if it really was that big of a deal, wouldn't the government that's what kind of was before, like in your 19, 20, when like you're starting to go to college and you're very impressionable. Why is that so hard for me to sit there and say? And so like you can sit there and you can get caught up in that, like really, like you get freaked out, like I don't have a future, oh my goodness, like and I remember sitting there like kind of freaking out, and then I said, if it was really that way, we've seen them during in history, because I was in History 101, we're going over a bunch of craziness that was happening, and how the government literally in America just said, yeah, we're taking your gold, we're going to give it, you have a chance to actually go through and give it to us, and we'll give you some money for it. Cool. We've literally stepped in and said men are going to war. Yeah, you don't have a choice. So it's like if it really was that big of a deal, they would sit there and literally say, okay, this, you have a car? Sorry, you can't drive. Like, that's it. The methylene that's coming from cows, yeah, we're going to switch that up because everybody's legitimately going to die. So we're switching that up. America, if you're a nation that is producing something that is really bad, we're going to go over there and take over your nation. This is back in, the late, early 2000, late, 1990s, where like America's dominance was America, like it was real, right? Like, so that on the back end, I'm not like, I just remember processing that as a kid, going like, yeah, you're right, or not even you're right. Yeah, I started thinking about it, and then literally going like, if that was really, really happening, this is what would happen. Like legit, like this is what would happen. And I was like, and they're not pushing that hard. Like they're like, and so you knew like something didn't fare. And obviously, we didn't realize how much of the manipulation that was actually happening in America by the media and as well as the education system. So
right.
Interesting. You know,
Um,
America. Go ahead.
anyway, let's switch into the briefly into poly market here. The market is saying that the government shutdown, there's a 40% chance it'll go on to October 15th or later. Only a 2% chance saying that it'll start and then end within one day. Actually, and if you just add everything up, 40, a 70, there's a 91% chance that poly market is saying it'll go longer than the 6th of October.
Oh,
That's interesting. So now the question is, how many Washington interns are betting on this? Imagine the scandal that all of a sudden it was revealed that 5,000 Washington interns and staffers were all betting on poly market, because poly market, as we know, I don't remember if it was Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. put $300 million into poly market, and immediately it was valued at $6 billion or something like that. And so poly market is not a hands-off thing anymore in the U.S. It's I don't necessarily know if they've clarified the trading rules of it yet for poly market in the U.S. But that doesn't mean we can't invest in it. And if well, you know what's Myriad doing? Let's look at them, see if they're doing the exact same thing. Myriad.
I want to also
Markets.
fire chicken white because they gave us that, because Chuck. And
Yeah. Let's make sure we do that.
Yeah, so I was actually looking at this yesterday. It's actually doing really well, man. I mean, the fact is that it's staying above the weekly 8. We're watching it really kind of starting to find its after the sell-off right here. We saw the sellers come in, and what's interesting here is that they went through, they found support on that weekly 8, and now we're watching it kind of push back up. So it's really interesting to see them coming in. They hit the supply area, but look, they're picking up. You can see the pickup of volume here. Yeah, the seller yesterday was a short seller day, meaning that you didn't have a lot of sellers come in, even though it was a red day. And now people are coming in, they're buying again. So it's going to be real interesting. I think it will most likely push through the supply area, because if this was going to be a bigger supply or a bigger amount of sellers, it would have come up and tapped this area. But the fact that it stops just right before, most likely means that it's going to start just eating through the supply here. And I mean, if somebody else mentions them or something happens, it could easily this becomes support after that. So they shoot up, come back down, and then just start finding support. So kind of excited to see what's happening here with Fire Chicken. Good job,
Well,
guys.
one of the things I noticed recently with Fire Chicken, Pedro, is that they locked up even more of the supply into long-term agreements for locking it up. And I think now it's over 40% of the supply is locked long-term. So there is very little sell pressure on this. This is a long-term project. Fire Chicken brings education in crypto to all of the parties involved in our Telegram room and in other places. Their social media posts about crypto education get a lot of impact. So they're doing good out there. They're doing good, and their project is doing well.
Well, also, I didn't even realize this, but Fire Chicken literally just said, I got it pinched down with fake USDC pool right now, making fees. There will be a day where we pump that back in, which I think is really interesting. Like the fact is that its business model is education on crypto and what's actually happening. But then at the same time, also, they also have another business model called liquidity pools, and through USD, where they receive fees from. So that's another business. And I'm wondering, how much money are you guys making on that? That's really interesting.
They've previously on this show have talked about managing the USDC exposure, and when the market is moving up, having less USDC and more Fire Chicken and Solana liquidity to take advantage of that. And then when the market isn't moving so much, moving it over to USDC, I should say moving up. And if the market is consolidating or thinking about moving down, they have a larger USDC pool to mitigate the loss of the value of the Solana part of the pair. So great strategy having moving your liquidity around based on market needs. And of course, locking everything up. Good stuff. Got to get the word out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there watching, go see Fire Chicken. Go to their Telegram room. Sure, we can. Their links are in our Telegram room is linked in the description of here. You can find Fire Chicken through that. Go there, do your own research. As Pedro and I like to say, projects that we talk about that we are holders in, we have to mention that, and we are very small, but we are holders in Fire Chicken.
There you go. Back here real quick to BTC. So really interesting for BTC that this big pump here, if you look at Ethereum, we see it. We actually see another big pump coming from this. So like I'm definitely looking at if we see this thing. All right, give me a second.
We've got the Ethereum chart. What time frame you got up there? I can't see it.
This is the daily chart.
Can see that.
And so what's interesting is we saw the liquidity area come in right here. It pops it. We saw it come in. Saw the sell-off. Found support again on that 8. And now it's moving up. But if you look at this, look at the amount of look at the volume coming in on this candle, right? Like you can definitely see that right there, like the correlation that's coming in there. And additionally to that, it is tapping that 20, and we're not really seeing a lot of sellers step in. Like you can see here on the hour time frame, we're not seeing a lot of it. So it's most likely going to bust through that 20 period moving average and continue higher. When you look at BTC, right, you can see here that that's not the case for it, right? Actually, I apologize. It's not as much. It's still a decent amount of volume. And if you look at Ethereum, there's definitely a lot more volume in Ethereum, but it's not as bad. You can see it's actually picking up. So that's again why I'm like, are they pushing it up to drop it here? And are they going to push it to all-time highs this first week? And sorry, I don't mean to be rude. Are they picking it up to drop it here where they're going to hit all-time highs and then take out the liquidity and bring it down? That's another scenario that I could sit there and see what's actually happening. I just don't trust this as of right now. I want to see us get above. I want to see us get above that at least that liquidity area right here. You can see that we came and tapped this liquidity, and we're starting to come down now. So, well, you know, it's not really giving us a complete clear sign here. It wants to continue up, you know, and I'm not seeing a ton of volume, a ton of buyer volume coming in. On the hour and on the man. Oh, forgive me, man.
All right, Miss Senor Pedro.
I don't know why I'm like yawning. That's weird. What's the sign when you yawn? It means that you're not having enough oxygen to your brain.
Yep.
Or you're using.
And you're tired, or your sleep schedule is off. Stayed up late last night. Didn't go to bed at 8 p.m. and get up at 6 a.m. and walk down the street and do your hiya stuff.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm weird. I don't care. Like sooner or later, people are gonna do it. They are.
You could be the leader. You could be like Forrest Gump out there going down your street doing it, and you got 40 people every day behind you?
I'm definitely never gonna do that. Definitely not.
All right, Pedro. Because we have to end early today. Let's transition over and do the Boeing and Chevron thing to see if Striking Senior can get some good information out of it. This is what we call taking a request, ladies and gentlemen. And the other day, Striking Senior had asked me about. We were talking about airlines, and he mentioned BA, and I took it as British Airways. And BA is the stock symbol price for Boeing. And Pedro and I talked about. It turns out British Airways is doing really well. Their company stock
Really
price
well.
is going up, and yeah,
Like, really, really well. Like amazingly well.
Oh, here's the-
And not so much for Boeing though. They've been one giant idiot box here. Between 270 and 114 the last 3 years. Since
Wow.
2022, or really since 2020. So all right.
Question is, what caused their big pump 5 years ago?
2016.
Oh, that was
Trump.
10 years?
Yeah, it is 2016. Below is right here. 2016. You had the drop and then pushed up, and it literally went from 120 all the way up to 250 or 450-ish or 446.
And then that big volume drop, I have to imagine, is when their 737 Maxes started dropping out of the sky. Admittingly, there was only 2 of them, but still, their stock took a beating on that. Although I gotta say, the chart, even though it's misery for years, it's trending up. It's trending up. I mean, it's trending up. It looks like some higher lows there over the past 3 years. Highs are not getting higher, but maybe it's in a 10-year consolidation. It's going to form a 10-year flag. What do you think there, Pedro?
So it's trying to go up. The fact is that you don't have a lot of volume though. Like you can just see it descending here as it was basically moving up. But you don't have a lower high, or you don't have it's like high, lower high, potentially lower high, at a low, low, higher low, higher low. So it looks like it's in a giant, range here, and that range, I hate to, do stuff like this, but this is one of those things you can sit there and see.
Interesting, they do have a pretty good backlog. Cathay Pacific just ordered a whole bunch more 777, the new 777-900 version. They've got 35 on order here. Qatar Airways just placed a massive order for 210 aircraft, including 130 787 Dreamliners and 30 777Xs. I don't think the Xs are the new cargo planes, maybe?
So you
the great summary machine here is saying this could sustain 400,000 U.S. jobs, signal confidence. in Boeing's post 737 MAX recovery. Turkish Airlines, President Erdogan was just over in the U.S. and they announced 75 787 Dreamliners for Turkish Air, which is a great airline, I might add. Although I haven't flown them in 10 years, I flew them a lot. And Turkish Airways, whatever it is, always had great flights, and they rebuilt the Istanbul airport and had one of the best international terminals for connecting and stuff like that. And they always had good fares too. Even the Uzbekis, 22 787s, Uzbekistan airline. How about that?
Yeah.
But as it says, challenges persist. And this is actually, this talking about this, Pedro, has led me to a future show topic. I asked, it goes in the articles to talk about all the good things with Boeing, including defense orders, the fighter jets, all that type of stuff. But it talks about bad things, or I shouldn't say bad things, difficult things in which the problems are supply chain related. They have a very complex supply chain, and many of their suppliers are switching to blockchain technology so they can track the provenance of parts. And the time, like a good example, parts are 3D printed now a lot for airlines, especially replacement parts, spares. And from the moment that the material is poured into the machine, it's got a blockchain entry and a tracking of the part with drawings and everything in it on a blockchain. They're not using Solana or Avalanche or anything like that. They're using
their own
corporate blockchain setup, but not just owned by Boeing, but owned, permissioned to allow anyone in the airline industry or airplane industry to be part of it in order to track parts, to track the history of parts, where they come from. Because there was a famous problem that Boeing, and to some extent Airbus, turned out to have been sourcing parts that were counterfeit from China and not real parts. And they're lucky, not a lot of, I think someone died because an engine exploded using fake parts. But they're lucky a plane didn't fall out of the sky getting these certified parts. But so now they're switching to blockchain, and it's going to be a great, it'll be a great future episode talking about.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
That
they
had, and it was China. It was obviously, it wasn't. I'm just curious, who was it?
Oh, it was companies supplying the parts that knew that they were trying to get away with supplying fake parts. There's tons of companies. Let's just put it this way: there's a lot of older jets in the world which parts are hard to find, and so when suppliers say, "I've got a bunch of those parts," they can command a premium for them. And what this one particularly bad company was doing was saying, "Yeah, we have all these parts for older 737s that we've acquired over the years," and what they were doing is that they were having some factory in China 3D print them. And 3D printing is fine. I was just saying create them and making them look old and used and coming up with fake paperwork. So now they're turning that on its head by saying, all right, we're going to all airline parts that go into making new jets, into spare parts, we're switching to using blockchain so that not only can the manufacturer see the part, its history, but repair shops, authorized repair shops can see that they're using a part that has its credentials going all the way back. Very interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting. Wow, that's good. That's amazing. So you can actually gauge. So what about a lot of the parts that are still out there that have, how do they certify those?
Well, anything connected to that company was immediately rejected from the market. And trust me, they still had, it's not like people just go out and buy parts on Facebook Marketplace to put on their jet. Everything has to be, even just, if you mount a cell phone permanently in a jet for some reason, it's got to be FAA certified and all that type of stuff. This is just trying to eliminate fraud and transparency in the parts network. So it wasn't a more massive problem, but now they're bringing the ability, there was many layers of people that would validate and certify things, eliminating all of that with blockchain. And even adding AI agents on there to track parts and stuff like that. Very, very interesting stuff. But quickly, before we move into Chevron, what's the outlook for Boeing?
More
or unknown?
no, so
More consolidation.
look, I mean, you can see here, look, it's just one giant consolidation for the last, since 2020. Look, they hit this, boom, hit this now twice, boom, boom, found it, came up here, hitting this area here. It's just consolidating. That's really where we're sitting. That's what we're seeing.
All right, so let's though think about if something good happens to them. What's a level that they need to break through to see some upside movement? Where's their resistance forming there? Just on that line?
No, it's actually right here. Yeah, so yeah, there's two. So there's this one, which is right here, and then they have another resistance level right here, which is the original resistance level that they've got to get above this. So you can see here we came down. It was a monthly zone that's sitting around that 297, 279 area. More importantly, as we're hitting this area here, we want to see an increase in volume. So we want to see the opposite. Now, this is a monthly chart. So, but we don't want to see something like that. Okay, we want to see the opposite. We want to see buyer volume coming up, especially when price is starting here. It's moving up and we're seeing buyer volume bleed out. So it's got to see an increase in volume next month or sequential months. And then as we're moving higher, you want to see us go down first and then up. Down first. I want to see more buyer wicks as we hit these resistance levels. So as we come down, we hit this, boom. And even as we're going up, I want to see I want to see something like here. Perfect. Here's a similar situation, right? But you can see as it's coming down, it put in these demand wicks. Who's putting in demand wicks here? Okay. Similar situation right here. Before we went back up. Where's it at? It does this. You can see it does this, right? As it comes down, you want to see these demand wicks step in, right? Come in, hit the liquidity, and then they push it up. So that's what we want to see. And I bet if we go to the daily time frame, we started seeing a lot of buyers step in at those low levels. And so that's what we're looking for. We're trying to see, all right, within this giant range, which is, you could actually even do call options, right? Or you can sell options to receive a premium. So if he's got a ton of stock, he knows that between that 113 and the 280, it's going to sit there and just stay there. So I would sell options. If you had a ton of stock, you could receive a premium. I mean, it's just sitting there. It's sitting there.
But it looks like if it's going to follow this pattern here in this consolidation thing, it looks like it's going to drop down, come down to the trending line below. Good place to DCA, and then get it on the upside. Well, since Boeing's orders are well known, they announce all their big orders. Their orders for like 6 to 10 years are known to about 75%. I think the big news to drive people back into Boeing stock and get the volume is this, for their management to really show that they have come up with a way to lower the supply chain costs. And I'll do a little research into that whole blockchain thing and to see how that is working. In fact, there's a couple of companies out there. I've reached out to one of them to see if they'd be a guest on the show to talk about what they do is providing permission blockchains for manufacturing industries just like this. To see if it can help. Because if Boeing can reduce costs by a lot, they've just settled their machinists strike, which is good, which is costing them a lot more. But there's no labor unrest currently for Boeing. They haven't had any planes fall out of the sky recently. That was their fault, so that's a good thing. So with just a little bit of reduction in cost that they can show analysts on the quarterly calls, I think there's a possibility that it could break up to that resistance because people will be more interested in buying it. But we'll know that, Pedro, because you just said the volume will show up. So if the volume shows up, then something like that is happening. If the volume doesn't show up, then that's not happening. So Striking Senior, keep an eye on that volume, and then you'll know what's going on with this.
I'm expecting this, though, to go down. So like over the next year, like we should see it come down again, and I'll show you here, if you want to play call options, or if you want to sell call options or sell puts, you can do that.
Buy puts.
Yeah, no, not buy puts, sell puts, which is a premium. You receive money coming in. You're not
You don't want to sell calls and sell puts at the same time, unless you want to do a spread.
No, that's the point. It's by you selling the call, right? Saying, okay, I think, because when you sell a call, you're saying that I don't think the market is going to go above here. When I sell a put, when you sell a call, you selling a call.
You think the market's going to go down.
Yeah,
take the money, you sell it now, buy it later for something lower.
Yeah. So you don't think it's going to continue up. When you sell a put, right, you're saying it's not going to go below here. And like, you could sit there and play this strategy because it's literally been playing out for 5 years.
3 years.
4 or 5 years here. And you can sit there and say, look, it's a pretty, and you could sit there and capture, say, you know, even if it's 0.2%, 0.4% on a monthly basis, you're still receiving additional income coming in along with their earnings. And I don't know, are they doing dividends? Don't see dividends.
I do not know the dividend for Boeing. I can look it up in about 1 second, but yeah, I would say it's probably small, if it is. But you're right, Pedro. You could if it's going to come down in this consolidation triangle here, you know, I'd sell the call, take the money, buy it back lower, and then use the proceeds to dollar cost average and bring your average price down of the stock. And if it goes the other way, well, it's not a naked sell, since you own the stock.
Right. And so that's the point, is that you're receiving income. And here's the thing, you could play that. You don't have to do it super close. Look, this is a monthly chart. Like, these are big time frames. Like, it's
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could sit there and say, I want to play this all the way down here at 169. For it to actually get down to there, you would literally have to have airplanes fall out of the sky. Right? And even then, you have monthly, you have a 200 period monthly sitting right here. You have a weekly 20, 50, you know what I'm saying? You have all of them sitting right here. You have the 200, or you have the foreign right here. You have the 200 sitting right here. You have the 50, 89, and 20 sitting right here. I mean, it's not going to go below this area. And you'll be able to sit there and see it. And when you make those calls, those premiums, okay, remember, they go down, meaning I receive premium. The longer I'm in that trade, the more I lock in profit. And so if it does sell off, I've already received profit of, let's say, $10 a share. Okay, or I received $2 a share that you have. Okay, because it would be like 1%, or maybe even you can even do 0.5% per share. So just to be safe, right? So I'm saying it's not going to go below here of that 163, and it's not going to go above, most likely, that the upper end of the 297 area. So you can receive literally $1 per share on that monthly basis, or 50 cents per share. And then you also receive more premium on this end, and basically, or even down at this lower level here, every month. And let's say that is 50 cents per share, right? All of a sudden, now you're receiving $1.50 per month per share, you know, for him, so that he could sit there and say, either take that money and put it into a asset that's actually doing well. Let's say you want to put it into, I don't know, crypto, or you want to sit there and put it into a US stable coin where you receive 7-8%.
Right.
Now off of that one.
Striking Senior isn't yet into the digital assets world. Still into the long-term holds of the big Nasdaq companies and Dow
Come
companies.
on, Mr. Herlihy.
It's Mr. Striking, Striking Senior.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Striking Senior. Let's go. Well, everybody knows your name. You literally have it.
Just keeping it out of the daily transcripts.
Gotcha. Okay. Check out Chevron. Do you know their ticker?
You know what? We don't have enough time here today. Let's punt that one. It's okay that my turns out I believe my the senior strikings are on an airplane right now. Anyway, so let's save that for tomorrow because I do have to get running. I'm finally making the transition back to Ottawa. Everything is going well here in Toronto, well enough that Mrs. Striking and I are going to head back to the homestead in Ottawa for the time being. And but we got to get on the road to do that. So got to end the show a little early today, ladies and gentlemen. I promised you this talk about Robinhood. I didn't get to it. Interesting stuff coming up with Robinhood for all of you people that have had Robinhood accounts since the original crypto days. Hold on to it, man. Hold on to that account. Keep a few bucks in it. Carmen Crypto in the house says, "Good morning, Chumbaloons." Thanks for joining us, Carmen Crypto. Coming to us all the way from the great city of Las Vegas. Just talked to a nice guy named Kurt the other day from Las Vegas. Lots, as he says, lots of good stuff going on there, even when it's a bazillion degrees in the summer. But thanks, Carmen, for joining us. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the beginning of your October. Pedro and I had a shorter show today, only an hour and 15 minutes today. Amazing. You watch other shows and they tell entire plots, soap operas. You know, you can get two episodes of slow horses in that same period of time. And for us, Pedro, it goes by like bang. And I'm like, we didn't even get to 90% of the things that we wanted to talk about.
Yes. Yes.
It's
really
amazing. It's just amazing how fast the time goes when it's, especially when it's something you really like, and that is making money in crypto and stocks. Let me load up the kick tracks here. Oh, where did it go? Where did the kick tracks go? There it is. Let's play it for us. Ladies and gentlemen.
Chevron's not going to do well. I've already seen it, dude. Like, you're just looking at it. I'm just like, look, you can just say it's a similar situation. Going up, going down volume. This is a weekly chart. We're breaking through the SMAs. It's going to go down. Sorry, Mr. Striking, Senior.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more about that on tomorrow's show, but not looking good for Chevron.
No.
Let me see. I haven't looked at the chart. Yeah, it's going to break below that moving average there, and all those moving averages will probably just dump down.
True. Fun. Yeah. We'll see what's up, though. We will see what's up. Earnings are coming up. They've met their earnings since May, so I don't think they're going to make their September earnings here, honestly, because this summer wasn't the best summer for driving. A lot of Americans did not.
Didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, a lot of Americans just stayed because they didn't have the money to go anywhere. So, and it's not gonna do too well for gas. Saying.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, quick show for you today. Thanks to everybody for watching. Really appreciate it. Thanks to Chuck Jansen and Fire Chicken Crew for the $20 Rumble rant. We really appreciate that. We love showing the algorithm that some hot business is going on here. Thanks to Striking Senior for the request for the technical analysis. Remember, those of you watching, this is an interactive show. Come to us on Thursday. Thursday, we generally don't have an overriding topic, so you can bring your questions to the show, and we'll go over them. Let's see if there's any last minute comments here. Gotta find the comment machine. Carmen Crypto says, Kurt the VC, yes. Yes, that is a discussion with him.
Yeah.
Carmen says, this week I sat in on a call for a new level 1 blockchain bond market platform. I missed your show about that. Saw the short about it. Yeah, I did. I put a short about the bond markets being the canary in the coal mine with the economy, and it's kind of the lie detector for the government. When the government says one thing, but the bond markets do something else, people are like, that's bullshit, man.
Oh, I love that. That guy's
anyway, Carmen, I want to learn more about this level 1 blockchain for the bond market. Bond market is certainly something that could benefit. I don't mean by tokenizing bonds and stuff like that. What I mean is by it's going to happen anyway. But having a level 1 blockchain set up just for bonds is a good thing, especially if the U.S. government can use it, and especially Tether can show their reserves. How about that? Wouldn't it be great to have a blockchain that shows reserves of U.S. Treasuries? Very interesting.
But we talked about that already as well, right? Like when it talks about the USDT, USDC being bought, you know what I'm saying? And people want to sit there and receive a yield. Well, all of a sudden you're saying, I'm going to lock this up in staking for 5 years or 1 month through 1 year, and then 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, maybe even 20 years and 30 years. And lo and behold, there's a bond.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for you. As always, the man in the box next to me is Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. We'll see you tomorrow. Oop, wrong one again. Did the commercial break? Better the ending credits.